We've talked about critical thinking, I'm sure, in this channel. And these are things that are indicated in majority of the work announcements or the advertisements, or even in job description that you get once you get work. And the employer will say that they are looking for somebody who can think critically. And you are being required to think critically because you've been hired to solve certain problems. And certain problems may require the critical thinking. On a daily basis, we have come across a lot of fake news on social media and in different places. Critical thinking is the ability to look at such information and know how to evaluate its trustworthiness. Can you know the source? Can you check it critically and know before even confirming? There are certain times in institutions, even in our places of work, we have, there's a lot of talking, and some of the information is not entirely correct. So as a critical thinker, you will be able to check on the source of this information so that you are sure the information you are talking about is correct and it is truthful and it can be also trusted. So when you practice critical thinking, you must check on whatever information that you are giving. This is why critical thinking is one of the most vital skills to cultivate for success. Remember, we continually training ourselves for success. And these skills that I've been talking about on this channel are skills that we require to succeed in our careers. Even if we are in entrepreneurship, we are our own employers, we will require to think critically, because then you are able to check whatever information you come across and tell on face value if it is fake or if it is proper information. You will be able to analyze and determine if there is some bias in the information that you have. And here are 13 ways you can cultivate this critical thinking skill. And one of them is to always vet new information with a cautious eye. Don't take any information or every information that you get. For example, in workplaces, you will join an institution or a department, and the first things you'll be told is information about particular employees. But if you have critical thinking, you will always vet that information. You will not take it at face value. You will vet any information that you come across. Look at where the information has come from. Is the source trustworthy? What is their motivation for presenting this information to you? Sometimes there is some bias. Some is conscious bias. People are biased against one another. So you'll get information about a particular person or about a particular thing. So if you do not check it, it has been given with some bias. So it is very important for you as an individual, as you work, that you look at where the information has come from and if the source is trustworthy. Consider more than one point of view. I have often said that we are not always right. So always consider different viewpoints. There are people who will have different opinions, and they'll be motivated differently. Even highly motivated, intelligent people will will make arguments, and at times when you look at them, you will see that they have bias. So it is important to consider more than one point of view. Listen carefully to the others and what they are telling you, and build a clear picture of their perspective. Where are they coming from? So let's learn to listen carefully. Listening will make sure that you get information from the different people, and then you analyze it, because you are working on your critical thinking. Gather additional information where needed. You do not need to reach a decision with only one source of information. Listen to different people. Do your own research, and then you are able to make a decision based on a lot of information that you have. Ask lots of open-ended questions when you get the information, to be able to judge if there is some objectivity in the information. You will need to ask questions like who, what, and why. It is important that even as you lead teams within an office setup, or even in a situation where you are an entrepreneur and you have other stakeholders, always make sure you ask these questions so that you have an understanding before even reaching at any conclusions. Find your own reputable sources of information. That is important, especially now with a lot of information coming from social media. What sources do you trust, even on social media? We have seen situations where even people are killed on social media. You'll see information like that. Do you trust all the sources? So it is important that you find your own sources that you trust and they are reputable. Try not to get news from social media. Sometimes they will be reputable sources. Sometimes the information will have will be different. It will be biased. It will be false. So always make sure you have your reputable sources of information before you can even share or make a decision based on it. Learn to spot fake news. With critical thinking, it will be easy for you to determine what is fake. So look at the language, the emotion, and the tone that the information has been given with. Then you will be able to know that probably this is fake or it is legit. So it is important that you check the source of that information. Learn to spot biased information. There are certain times that we are all biased because we think differently or we've been brought up differently. And certain things have always been said to be a particular way. So we will be biased. Even in politics, we realize that we are often biased based on the people that we are supporting. So learn to spot bias in any information that you receive, even in the workplace. Question your own biases as well. As we grew up, there were certain biases about different things that came up even as we were growing up. Maybe there are biases with our parents. Our parents have certain biases with certain communities. And so those things were implanted in you at an early age. So even as you grew up, you grew up with those biases. So always question your own biases, even as you make decisions. Because you'll go out here, you probably end up like me, being a recruiter, and you want to practice diversity and inclusion, but you have certain biases that you have had for a very long time. So it is important that you question your own biases. Then form your own opinions. Don't be a person that doesn't use critical thinking, in which case then you don't have an opinion of your own. It is important that as you grow up, even within the office setup, that you form your own opinions. And you use critical thinking as so as to think also independently, so that you are not you're not a person that will be driven to every other direction because you do not have any opinions of your own. Then lastly, continue to work on your critical skills. These are things that you can work on. And as you work on, you are practicing. There are courses that you find on Udemy and Coursera, and those are courses that teach general critical skills. So keep learning. Remember, we are what we continually do. So keep learning. Thank you for watching this video. If you are new here, share, like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can be notified whenever we post content such as this. Thank you.